What a man can be, he must be. This need we may call self-actualization. This is a quote from Abraham Maslow. And until you achieve self actualization, you will feel like you are constantly seeking more from life. You probably don't know what that more is, but it intentionally or unintentionally can drive every decision that you make. And unless you define what your more is, or I've called it your why in other posts of mine, you will continue to make decisions that hold you back from realizing your full potential. Or, as Maslow called it, self actualization. So, you need to identify specific areas in your life where your decisions, actions, or habits are holding you back. And you need to practice deliberate thinking skills to form new habits in those areas, and that will get you closer to realizing your potential. So, for example, say you always feel like when you're in front of people or in a group situation, you always feel like you're putting on a show for people. You don't feel like you can be your true, authentic self. And feel like you have to actually hide your true self. So you could put some deliberate thinking skills to work here and define your core values and use those to find out if maybe you're trying to impress the wrong people, and maybe that's why you feel like you have to put on a show. Maybe if you were hanging out with people who shared your values, you wouldn't feel like you had to put on a show. Or maybe you lack confidence because you feel like you don't have anything to add to the conversation. So you could stay curious and you could learn something about whatever topic you want to and bring that to conversations. Or you could even go and take a confidence building course. There's some great ones online. And use your curious, deliberate thinking skills that way. So we're going to help you define those areas that you might need some work on. I created a 10-question quiz to help you assess your degree of self-actualization or potential, full potential. It's based on Abraham Maslow's book, Motivation and Personality. And Abraham Maslow was an American psychologist and philosopher, and he's actually the 10th most cited psychologist of the 20th century. And I really like him. I mean, if you go find a picture of him, or I might end up having one on the site. But he's just this cute guy. He just looks so happy and jovial. I don't know. I just like the guy. But I also like him because he focused on the positive qualities in people, which I try to do my best and do that too, and find a spark of greatness in people. And I think that's what he was really trying to do. So that's probably why I admire him so much. But he studied a select group of people, exceptional people, I should say, who, based on psychological studies, had been deemed to be healthy psychologically. And he wanted to study them. Again, he wanted to figure out what was causing that greatness in them, to see if you could bring that out in other people, I think is why he did it. And that led him to develop his theory of self-actualization, which is broken up into 4 areas. And again, my post that goes along with this audio and video is actually a quiz, but it introduces these ideas. And obviously we're not going to go through the quiz right now, but I want to go through these ideas quickly with you. And there's my cat saying hi, so we're just going to leave her back there. That's Lainey. She's going to say hi to everybody. We're going to stay authentic and real here. Okay, so the first area that he talked about, these characteristics were grouped into is honesty. And in that he included sense of humor. And what he meant by that was a philosophical, spontaneous, not a hostile sense of humor, and one that was meant to elicit smiles from people, not like full-out belly laughs necessarily. So not being a complete goofball, but having a good sense of humor. Under honesty, he also has social interests, which means you're able to identify with others easily. This is part of that. Interpersonal relations, which means you're capable of creating what he called more fusion and greater love with people than some other people are able to, and you can actually differentiate different types of love more easily than some people can when you are self-actualized. The second group of characteristics is awareness, to know what's going on inside. So self-actualized people are efficient at forming perceptions. There we go. They live outside. I'm going to quote this, so I'm going to read it here. I want to make sure I get it right. They live outside the man-made mass of concepts, abstraction, exceptions, beliefs, and stereotypes that most people confuse with the world. Seems like that's a lot about what we've been talking about here, isn't it? Again, I like Maslow. What can I say? Also, under awareness, he talked about freshness of appreciation. So, that is appreciating again and again the basic goods of life, good things in life, things that you see every day. You can appreciate them every day. He talked about these people having peak experiences or feelings of a limitless horizon, opening up to whatever their vision of the world was. And he talked about them having an ethical awareness. They know what is right and what is wrong to them, and it might not be the conventional definitions of right and wrong that society uses at that time. They can define that for themselves. The third area of self that he defined in self-actualized people is freedom. Freedom to be whatever they are in the moment, and freedom to let other people do the same. So one way they do that is through detachment. So these self-actualized people tend to need a lot of solitude and privacy, but also they are detached in that they don't attach their value to others, so they're able to let other people be themselves. They are creative, but more in an inventive type of creativity, not necessarily. They are innovative, not necessarily creative in the way that we would normally think of it as the arts. They are spontaneous, but not in the way of being an actor to an audience. They're just spontaneous, just naturally, and it comes through simply and just as a natural part of their character. Fourth area that he covered is trust. Trust oneself and trust one's mission in life. And he defines the life mission, as some problem that these self-actualized people see as being a problem outside of themselves that they are determined to solve. So I guess for me, I am trying to solve the problem of people not being deliberate thinkers. So that is the one I'm trying to solve, that is partly in myself, but it's outside of myself, and it takes up a great deal of these people's energy, of self-actualized people's energies. He also talked about them being autonomous. So they depend on themselves for their development and growth, and they're not easily influenced by other people's opinions. They are accepting. They are very appreciative of themselves. They're appreciative of others and what others have to offer, and they appreciate nature. So to wrap it up here, I'm not saying that everyone can achieve all 12 of these characteristics that we just covered, okay? But we can identify one or two of them to work on. And you never know where it's going to go from there. So why not start, right? We all have underutilized skills, abilities, and talents that come to us naturally, and we're just not using them. And if we did use them, our lives would be so much better, and we would be working toward our potential. So let's find them. What are we waiting for? I'm going to challenge you to take the quiz, find out what areas you could use some improvement on, commit to forming new habits in those areas, develop that part of your character, and that's going to give you one step closer to realizing your full potential. So just do it. Don't overthink it. Just do it. Until next time, stay curious.